Welcome, guys. We're back with the Two Whatever's Way Up. I am your hostess and horror hope. Today I have Seth with me,
Hello, everybody.
and also the man with the plan, Jesse.
Yes, we're here once again to talk about Secret Invasion and how horrible Disney actually really is.
So, there's a couple of things we wanted to bring up with Secret Invasion. Typically, whenever we do these types of episodes, we wait till the end of the season before we do like a recap or something. Today, there's so much all wrapped up in what's going on between the AI, where the fuck is Marvel going, the actual comic series. Like, there's just so much to talk about, even with just the first episode released. We had to jump the gun on this. We couldn't wait for the season, whatever, to complete. So we just wanted to jump on in. And Jesse, I know you had very, very strong feelings about this before any of
Mhm.
us really even spoke out, even though I was the one who read the series. Please,
Yeah,
like, why did you want to like bite down on this so much?
well, first, I've never read all of Secret Invasion. I think I read a little bit, and I didn't watch the show because
For the first episode,
I,
at least.
I didn't watch the first episode mainly because I heard about the AI stuff in the show. So for those who don't know, there's the AI generated the credits for the show. Instead of hiring actual creative people, instead of hiring like actual artists to be on the show to do the credit sequence, they just said, "Oh, just screw it, and let AI do it."
Gross.
And their justification was that, oh well, the morphing and the manipulation, it looks like the scroll shapeshifting. That's bullshit. That they did it because it was cheap and there's a writer's strike going on and they didn't want to pay anybody. That's why.
Okay. I get that. A lot of people agree with you. There's a lot of artists who agree with you. And there's just a lot of controversy going on around this. Before I say anything, Seth, what about you? What is your 2 cents on the whole AI situation?
I feel like cavemen that discovered fire the first night that they did, and like some of them were super scared of it, and some of them were probably really into it, right? And then a
Yeah.
decision had to be made. How do we use this like well, right? And now here in 2023, our question is how do we use AI ethically? And this ain't it. I don't think this is the ethical
No,
use. I don't think
no,
this is
it's
the
not.
ethical use. And my issue directly with like the situation here is the reason that they threw out that Jesse just mentioned there. Um, it undoes what the Skrulls seem to they want us to think they represent in the MCU, which is the immigrant story. So like are they shape-shifting immigrants that we don't need to be scared of, or are they soulless AI? Like I don't think you get to have it both ways. That's my issue. I don't think that AI is the correct like use to say that we're using AI because they're shape shifting and it's like a new person or a new kind of thing in our world. And it's like it just doesn't track for the immigrant story that they want it to be. And
Yeah.
and so that's the issue that I take with it, that they want us to believe that it was intentional. Like, yeah, and maybe if that's how you cut a corner and you make a show like this on the cheap, and you're like us, when we work on our small productions, I use AI to sync our audio in Premiere. Like there are ethical uses of it, but it's me, it's my brain telling it what to
Right.
do, and then it's Marvel. They've got money. That's not the issue
Mhm.
here. You know what I mean? Like
Lots of money.
I can forgive a lot of small creators using AI to fill in what they just don't have the budget for, but this is not one of those cases, and I think anyone making those kinds of arguments is being a little disingenuous. So that's that. I think AI can be exciting for filmmaking. I don't think we should be leaning on it as the source of creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I 1,000% agree. I will say the fact that you mentioned the whole immigration thing, all
Mm.
that, I do find it a smidge really fucking tasteless how they start out everything in Russia. Like, Like, it is a bit tactless. They especially for the times, they've been filming this for how long, and Marvel's known for reshoots, and the Russian war's been going on for how long now too?
Right.
I felt like with the scrolls being based there, they're saying, "Oh, the nuclear blah 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 blah." Well, like there's nuclear plants in Japan. They could have done Japan. They could have done like they could have even done Antarctica for all we fucking know. They could have done uh,
Yeah,
It's a spy
Sarko-
story. These are supposed to be globetrotters, right? Like,
yeah.
right. Like it could have
Anywhere
been
than
anywhere.
yeah.
So that's my little tangent.
this is the second time that's happened too, right? Because Winter Soldier, or not, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they had to like scrap a bunch because of COVID because it was like too recent. And it's like, what? Isn't this the point of having all these like fast teams and this amazing machine of filmmaking that you could be that present?
Yeah. Especially with Marvel and Disney being as almighty as they are.
Right.
Now back to that was my little tangent. Back to the AI situation. So I know the artist Tom Hodges. I'm not saying I'm like the greatest friends with him. I've known him for a long time now. Um, I'm like friends of friends with him, but I still know him. And
Acquaintances.
yes, and he is an artist. He has worked for Disney. He's done worked for Disney as an artist. His wife works for Disney, like so he's very in the Disney realm. Um, and he actually just I want to shout out. He doesn't know I'm talking about this, but like he did a post on Facebook, very public. He's a very public guy,
Okay.
and I just want to kind of read off a couple of sentences of what he said about this. Like, first off, he did say he does not support this, but
Yeah.
he did say no one lost a job over this, say
Right.
for the AI. So no artist was replaced. So they just didn't reach out, but no artist was replaced or lost a job or any of that. So there's one thing. It's not like they had art and they said no and scrapped it and then did AI. So there's that. um, a lot of the times they do outsource their openings and closing sequences.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not typically done. He lists examples. The company Prologue provided the closing credit sequence for Iron Man. Claw Studios did them for Thor: Dark World and Deadpool, so on and so forth. Method Studios has worked on several MCU series, created the opening credits, Loki, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight. So they do a lot of outsourcing. And he goes on to say, just like you said, AI is a tool.
Right.
It's not a means to an end. It is a tool. However, one thing that I did not think about was the tool that they're using is they have it's 2023 minus 2007. I don't know, do the math. I suck at math. That many years
16.
of there you go. Look, I haven't slept yet today, so I
just woke up this morning out here, so I've got the fresh brain.
Yeah.
We're sharing my brain cell today.
Right now it's like my midnight. Like and he was saying so they've gathered up all 15, 16 years of Marvel collected data and put that into AI to create these sequences. So it's so it's all their own shit that they used AI for. Now, again, Tom didn't support this. I don't support this. I think they relied a little too heavily on it. And by no means was this perfect. Like, I think this AI shit was ugly.
Yeah.
If you want to use AI as a tool, and with Marvel having all that backup imaging and fan art and all that stuff, cool. You know what? Use it. But fuck, is it ugly? And the
Right.
thing is, like, the still images are bad, but that's partially why I watched the first episode, and because it's a little different, it like flows as it goes on through the title sequences, and it just made it worse, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just ugly. I get what they were going for. I get it. It's still ugly. It's not, even if it is AI, they could have filtered the AI. They could have gone differently with the AI, and they just landed with that.
Yeah.
That's where I think they got lazy, because it's like, I've seen AI work, and it can look way better than the shit they put on there. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen really good AI work, and that just looked hideous. The first thing that came to mind was like, what'd they do to my man? I am not quiet. I'm the biggest Samuel L. Jackson fan out there.
Right.
What the fuck did they do to my man? That is ugly as sin. Like,
AI still can't do pupils. It still can't do teeth. It still can't do fingers. Like, it is
Yeah.
it is a Lovecraftian little machine in there, you know.
still very rudimentary in its form. That's why you need the artist to shape and tool and lean, because I mean, even like there are great things, like the Chat GPT or whatever is like a new AI chatting form, whatever.
Mm,
Even that has its hiccups and flaws,
Mm.
even though it's just language,
yeah.
which is a smidge easier, so to say, than art.
Sure.
But look what they did to my
Yeah.
boy. Look what they
the
did.
lack of it's very soulless is what it's
Yeah.
described. Yeah, like I think I just read a tweet from screenwriter David Hayter. He posted about people using Chat GPT to write scripts, and he's read some of them, and they all felt soulless. They
yeah.
all felt very empty. Like there's no humanity within the story. Like it's very, very standard, like words used in sentences. There's no emphasis or enunciation. It's just very kind of, it's almost like textbook.
There's
Yeah,
no,
it feels
there's
like
no
a
emotional impact. You write a
no
sentence,
emotional impact.
You write
Yeah.
a sentence trying to deliver emotional impact the way that you would speak it, and a computer writes a correct sentence.
Yeah, I read that apparently they I can't remember who it was. It was some university. They put an AI into generating new content from other AIs, so it created this endless feedback loop.
AI
And
incest. I love it.
And eventually, it ran out of things to talk about. It's kind of like they kind of had like
Yeah.
an implosion, and they can't really get rid of writers entirely or creators, because
Still needs to be that input.
you need to have input. We talked about this on the Matrix Revolutions episode. AI requires input.
Yeah.
It doesn't create anything. It just reworks and regurgitates stuff to create a new thing. But it's still in its infancy. So you're getting these weird kind of homunculus, mongoloid things that really don't have a soul.
Yeah.
And then you end up with shit like this. Like, I know this is just the credit sequence, but it's indicative of a bigger problem. They did this during a writer's strike.
Yeah.
That looks bad. That looks really, really bad.
A writer's strike around AI, around the use of AI in our system.
Yeah. And Disney just said, fuck you. Like, we're going to do it anyways. Like, that right there is indicative of the problem.
Scabdom right here.
Yeah. Like, oh, we don't need people that can be scabs. We can just have the computer do it for you.
Because it can't say no.
Because it can't say no.
I will say that it can be fun, though, sometimes. I do want to do like a little mini shout out to our friends.
Yeah.
I want to do a little mini shout out to our friends, Two Chicks in a Horror Flick. So Tawny, I just listened to one of their new episodes, and they do like a little recap, like 2-minute recap thing. And she was like, for shits and giggles, she put it into Chat GPT for the recap of the movie they were doing. And it was actually the funniest thing ever. It was they were doing Cloverfield, and it was like trying to be. But the thing is that they were trying to be like ChatGPT trying to be like sassy with it.
Wow.
And it was like, would you look at that? Huh? And like, so it was funny as shit. So it's not all bad. It's not.
Yeah. It's an
and
interesting
it's still a tool. It is
it's a
still a
curiosity.
tool.
Yeah. It's a curiosity. It's like there's all those AI generated like what would this movie look like if it was done in the 80s? Like and it's little like photos of like what it would look like. That's kind of cute. Like but it's not I would never lean on it as a creative thing.
And
It's
just you're pointing out exactly like how it should be used as like an inspiration board. Like when the AI first came up and I was thinking about pitch decks, and deep in our bludgeoning pitch deck, and I'm going, man, if I could use AI to churn out a storyboard that looks like what we've already shot to sell this movie, that's a great use of the tool of AI, right? Because it's still our genuine inspiration running it, but like that and I want to go into like a big darkness in AI is who's running it. Because like it's not all the same, and we're not talking about the same. Like when I bring up AI in Premiere, that's syncing audio, that's editing audio, that has machine learning built into the way it processes audio. That's not the same AI as a Chat GPT, which is an AI generator, which is run by your like software tech firm bros, right? Like these are the scabs of the tech world making technology for scabs in the creative world. Like that's a huge issue just with the AI use here in the Marvel project. I don't know what generator they use. I won't make any speculations that way, but to get the images that they got, I'm assuming that that they didn't bring in an AI expert, that they didn't bring in somebody to clean this up, because this doesn't look like the cleaned up AI at the end.
Yeah, it doesn't look done.
It still looks like a rough draft, and that's where I'm getting my biggest issues from. I feel like they've gotten so lazy,
right?
And I get that there's a writer's strike. I get that they're an uphill battle. I get that they're, like people still have to work. They still have to put this content out. I get it, whatever. But there's so much capital that they can use, and they're just being lazy. And I know Kevin Feige recently has come out and said, like, look, this isn't the Marvel that I created, basically.
Yeah, isn't he not running anything anymore? It's just his name, but it's not really him in charge.
Yeah, because he's like, this isn't what I created. This isn't the universe that happened. And it's true. It's so, before there was a plan, it all came to, just like the A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together, and it's, nothing's coming together anymore. Everything feels so disjointed, and it's upsetting. It's I miss old Marvel. I miss being so excited and wanting to be tired and going to the midnight premiere. I was even just going back to the TV shows. I was so fucking excited for WandaVision because that was the first thing that they were doing. That was the first thing that was hyped up. This is before they released the other 50 shows,
Right.
And like they had
came
titles
out the gate
for it,
with
but
something unique too, right? Like
yes.
the first 3 episodes are something we've never seen before.
Exactly. They put so much love it or hate it, they put so much love and care into those first couple episodes. I saw the behind the scenes look for all those episodes. That everything was practical effects. They used an actual live TV audience to reflect the time and the sitcoms that they were reflecting. Like, just so much care went into it. Like I said, if you love it or hate it, whatever wasn't your favorite, was your favorite. I personally loved WandaVision. Where the fuck is that now?
Yeah. Now you got like She-Hulk with its awful CGI, and it's like while the show itself is like fine, it's just the CGI is just like God. He
That's
went
how I
from
feel about
WandaVision down to that.
Love it or hate it, at least the end sequence had real art by artists, and it was
Yes.
very good.
Yes.
So
that
I do like the She-Hulk end credit drawings. I
yeah.
liked
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. A lot of
Art.
comic artists. A lot of comic artists that come out against what's been happening. I think Jimmy Palmiotti, I think Tom King also spoke out about this, and they've all said, "Yeah, don't do this. Like we're already struggling for work as it is."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
they could
really
have
makes it
hired
look
Joe
bad.
Schmo off the street. I
Yeah,
my coworker, she's a brilliant artist. I posted just little doodles she did for me on post-it notes for me at work, and they're gorgeous.
yeah.
She would fucking do, and that's just her doodling for 2 minutes at work, and I'm like, Jesus, this is gorgeous. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, no. Fuck this AI shit. Hire my friend. Like,
Yeah.
Well, and like this is the beginning too. Like we are only seeing the first waves. This is in a couple years you're going to see actors being handed sides with AI script, and they're going to have a question like, "What was the inspiration behind this line, Mr. Director?" How are you going to answer that if the AI spit that shit out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What were you thinking when you were imagining this line? Lay out the idea for me. Well, I wasn't actually. This got pumped out of a fucking computer. So just read it as you want. Dude, actors are going to lose their fucking minds. They're going to go, "No, I'm not going to read this drivel. I used to do Shakespeare. I'm not going to read this fucking computer diarrhea." And we're going to have a second strike.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting. That's never going to be used for something like smaller, more independent, creatively driven films. It's only going to be the big tentpole blockbuster films that have been coming out. And this year has been pretty
Fast 25, you mean?
Yes, this year has been pretty dog shit for these bigger movies. We've had like 3 that have been good. We had Across the Spider-Verse, John Wick Chapter 4, and Guardians 3. Everything else. There's been, 20 of these things that come out this year? They've all been dog shit because they have the same cliched dialogue. The effects aren't done. Like, the movies are marketed as being, like, big tentpole, like, we're going to build a franchise from this. Like, The Flash just came out, and it's terrible. Like, this is the problem. For many reasons. But that's the
Still
thing.
love
Like,
me, my Michael Keaton.
well, these movies all feel the same. They feel like they're generated by an AI anyways. Like, AI doesn't actually create anything new. We said it regurgitates stuff. Now look at The Flash.
Yeah.
Hey, what's in there? Hey, it's Nick Cage Superman. Hey, look at that. It's Michael Keaton from the old... It's regurgitation.
It's General Zod from the first
Spoiler
DC
warning.
movie.
Yeah, it is literally just AI-generated movies. These movies have no soul anymore. like John Wick Chapter 4, you could never create that with an AI. You could never create that with... Like, you think an AI could do that one 90-second shot where it's the Hotline Miami shot where he's taking out guys with the dragon breath ammunition?
You mean the one Oliver Stone hated?
Oh yeah, Oliver Stone, you're an asshole and you suck as a filmmaker now. Like, yes, the guy that wrote Scarface says that this is disgusting. Sure, yeah, just sure, yeah.
All right, pal.
Aren't you in debt now? What an asshole.
I had some other issues with just the show Secret Invasion.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I don't intend to watch it. So go ahead and spoil it. I don't care.
I mean, there's nothing to spoil in the first episode, right? Like, it's a U.S.-Russia war that they're trying to stop with nefarious background that we have no idea what the Skrulls are up to.
Did we cover this with Winter Soldier?
Yeah, I mean, it feels a lot like Winter Soldier.
Again, regurgitation. We've done this story already.
I think my biggest issue, though, nobody's talking about it. There's like beyond the AI stuff, like there was no like excitement drum up on Twitter or TikTok. There was no like cameo sightings. Is there anybody in this beyond the like? I haven't seen anybody pop up as saying that they're going to be in this show. it's kind of Bob brought up in his recent review of it that it's just kind of Disney's kind of running it off the radar because of the topic material, and it's like, how many times are you guys going to be on topic and then run away from it? Because they did the same thing with Winter Soldier or the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they didn't need to. Like, we all watched it anyways, and we all were like, "Oh yeah, I guess there was a virus storyline in here." We would have been fine. Like, you would have got some jokes on Twitter. We like to joke about dark stuff, as we've learned with this submarine thing, but like, it's weird to me.
That's my new favorite dumb story of the year.
Redo the Darwin Awards, please. We need them to come back just for this.
Can I just do an asterisk real quick on that? Just like, make all the jokes you want. I feel bad for the kid. I said my piece.
Yeah. The one I would feel bad for is him, because he was like, what was it, 19?
He was 19. Yeah. He was forced to go. He was guilted into it because his dad wanted to go with him for his Father's Day gift. I said my piece.
Yeah.
Feel bad for the kid. The rest of them, that's on them.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for the kid.
It's also worth noting, everyone's freaking out about these 5 people that were on this submarine where they knew where they were going and knew how dangerous it could be. There was a ship that was off the coast of Greece that had 700 immigrants on it, and they got stranded and it sunk. Nobody cares.
Yeah, and there's like
they arrested the woman trying to help them. Did you hear that? She's facing 20 years in prison for trying to help the immigrants.
See, this is what happens when you try to help poor people. You get arrested. When you try to help rich people, you get idolized. Good job, Planet Earth.
Yeah, and I hear you there, Hope. Like
Scroll, take me now.
I've not seen a single sub joke that's made fun of the kid in the situation either. I think a lot of people are going like, that is the unfortunate aspect of like a dad choosing to do that for their kid. That's almost the saddest part of all this, that they would make that.
Oh, it was the dad. He just wanted his son with him. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't do it for his kid. He just made the kid go.
Right. No, exactly.
Also, wasn't it his company? And he said, safety is waste.
Dude,
they knew it was unsafe.
Engineering TikTok is going nuts over the fact that he was combining, I think it was ceramic and galvanized steel, or basically
carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber.
And it's like, dude, of course this happened. Like, the reason we tell you not to do this in the textbooks is because of this. And the guy's like on video going, yeah, no, I just think that's dumb and I'm going to do it my own way. On the fucking video about how he built the sub, talking about how he doesn't think the galvanized steel thing's an important issue.
Anywho,
I'm gonna mix
the world today.
I'm gonna mix toilet cleaner and bleach. Oh no, you created mustard gas,
dude. So yes.
I will say I'm taking creative control of this. We're gonna switch topics.
I was switching back to Secret Invasion. Yeah.
Getting back to the scroll. Hence why I said scrolls take me now.
Yeah, the show itself is like, it's fine. It's a spy procedural, which is really not my jam. So like I didn't watch The Americans. I know it's good. I didn't watch a lot of those like big spy shows that were coming out in the 2000s. It's just not my jam. I barely like
Alias.
So it feels like more of the same Marvel with all of the issues and none of the upsides. Like, we don't even have good reaction gifs from Samuel L. Jackson in this show. Like, he's the lead and they're not giving him shit to do.
I feel like, am I kind of the only one that's a little tired of Sam Jackson as Nick Fury? Because he doesn't do anything. He's not like, he doesn't really have a lot of energy. You know, I'm kind of
80, right?
Yeah, like I really think they need to kind of switch over to the other Nick Fury or another universe's Nick Fury. Like, you know, I'm not saying bring back David Hasselhoff, but I'm saying like bring in
bring this into play in the first episode. Actually, Maria Hill basically says, "Nick, you're not ready. You've changed. You're not the same."
Yeah, you're old.
She's like, you may feel like you're responsible or whatever, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to hurt yourself and everyone else.
Yeah.
They did bring that into play. I
The show
think
seems
it's one of
insistent that
those.
that the snap changed him. I'm curious how that will play out, but
Yeah, I think it's honestly one of those things where Sam Jackson had a contract
mm,
and he had to be on for X amount of projects because he is connected to the Nick Fury character. That's why they've killed him like 5 times when he's still there.
mm.
Well, that's normal in the
I
comics. They kill him off and he just magically appears
Oh,
again.
that's a bit.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
wish they would just turn
I'm
that into a full bit in the MCU now.
Yeah, what are
yeah,
those
but
called? Life model decoys. They
Yeah.
keep using those over and over again in the comics.
yeah. So, but as for this realm, this TV show, this series, whatever, these movies, I think it's just a contract issue.
Mm,
Um, and again, the writer's strike, they're not giving him much to do because they can't write for it.
Yeah.
Now, I think I'm one of the few people who have actually read Secret Invasion like before it was talked about being a
mm.
thing. Like I did read it because I thought it was fucking interesting. Um, the entirety of this like saga, it involves the entirety of the Marvel universe. Like the in fucking entirety. You get every single character, big and small, all across the board. Like there's characters coming out of the woodwork when I was reading it. I was like, holy shit, that was like a bit player in the 80s in two comics for 5 seconds, and they's in this, like
Hmm.
literally everybody. And they break off into these factions that are completely intertwined and mixed. And not only that, but there's a whole thing with the Illuminati because the Illuminati comes together and they're like, how do we know that we can trust? And there's like this thing where, they're like, well, the scroll might be one of us and we're supposed to be the Illuminati leading all of our factions. What do we do? And there's a whole sequence where there's a giant group of people from X-Men, Fantastic Four, the Avengers, like all these different things where they were like taken away, replaced with Skrull because there's a faction of Skrull that can actually mimic powers and not just imaging
Mm.
and everything. So they were like copying these people's powers, and it's just this whole thing where they are all these people with powers. It's not just a spy thing. It's all these people with powers are pitted against each other because they're like, I don't even know. And there's all these sub stories of like even lovers. They're like, yeah, I loved you and now you're a scroll and now I know you're trying to kill me and my life. It's a big thing where it's everything
Mm.
is totally, and it's not just like on a war scale. Like I said, it's like people, they're like, I've been in love with you for 10 years. I thought you were this person. What happened to this person I was in love with? Like,
Mm.
so it goes down to the base levels, and it's so
Yeah,
much more
it
involved.
sounds like what really resonated in you was how it like went down into the fabric of the Marvel stuff you had read up to that point.
Yes.
Like it felt like it was deep baked in there, and yeah, like that is that's a lot. That's a huge kind of narrative to try to pull off.
Like they're at one point in the Savage Lands because they're like, yeah, the scrolls haven't touched this place. Like,
Hmm.
no, you're the first people in like a millennia to come down here. And they're like, oh, well, what about them? They're like, okay, that's like one person, but like literally nobody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is the
that's like their
Savage
safe.
is the Savage Land supposed to be the Amazon?
No,
No, it's
like
the Savage Lands is
down
like
in
a
the Arctic.
prehistoric. It's under the Arctic cap, and like
Oh, okay. I
it's
did not
like
know
a
So
that.
land. It's this kind of, think of like prehistoric times still preserved, but under the surface.
Oh, so it's like the Hollow Earth theory. That bullshit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
back when they were pulp comics, it was just like, oh yeah, okay, of course there's a continent underneath of Antarctica, and now it's like, okay, we're keeping it because everyone likes the dinosaurs and stuff that live there, but
Okay.
Well, then
but
there
like
was
it
also this
functionally,
whole and
Functionally,
there's
yeah.
Mr. Sinister set up base there,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
because it was like off the map, off the grid, he had all these things he could fuck around with, these dinosaurs he could do experiments on. There was this whole thing.
Yeah,
Um, and I liked that too because they brought that bit thing into place, saying this is untouched. Scrolls don't even know the fuck we're here,
yeah,
and that was like their safe haven. Like, oh shit, well at least we know we're good here. And then
Yeah.
they're like, oh well, the people who came down, there was like 3 scrolls mixed in with the people who went to, and then they're like, oh fuck, and then there was a battle, and like there's all the and the thing is, it doesn't take place with just Nick Fury.
yeah.
It's literally there's 7 different storylines going on all at once. This Secret Invasion, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
not.
mean, a lot of these adaptations of these storylines, like they're very distant. Like Captain America: Civil War is not the story from the comic.
Oh
It's
no,
not.
yeah.
It's
No,
very different. So it like,
obviously, but
yeah,
there's a difference between going off in your own direction and like a lot of the things are at least loosely based. This ain't loosely based.
yeah,
Oh
That's where
yeah,
I'm coming
yeah.
from.
They've gone from like kind of a huge affects the entire Marvel universe kind of story that's tied into the Secret Invasion, because it turns into Secret Wars, right? That's huge stuff for everybody.
mm,
That's Black Suit Spider-Man. That's there's a lot of big stuff
Because
that
they don't know who to trust, and then it's like the young Avengers come out of it because a lot of the older people are killed through these things, and then there's other things that, like it's a huge thing. That's my issue is
the
you can
show
do your
feels
own
like Manchurian
storyline.
Candidate. You know what I mean? It feels small. It feels
Yeah,
focused.
yeah.
it's so like it's this wrapped up in this tiny little thing where it's supposed to explode, and I
Maybe
don't.
it's a budgetary thing. Maybe they just didn't give them the budget because they blew all their money on all this other crap.
Then don't make it.
I agree. Like, save it for a movie. Do that.
Well, and
Not
like
even a movie. Just don't do this. There's 1,000 other Marvel like sagas they can do.
Yeah.
Well, and let's
Don't do this one.
let's run this back as if everything had gone to plan for Marvel. You're telling me this is the launch point for your big Secret Invasion Kang storyline is going to be this teeny tiny Manchurian Candidate thing that's with and again, like maybe there's a bunch of cameos. Maybe this is like they've kept the lid on like one of the best things they've ever made. I'm there's 6 episodes to do that in, and I'm not
I
Not
seeing
feeling
somehow
it.
I
Not
somehow
feeling
doubt
it.
that. I somehow doubt it because how often is it that they keep stuff secret for that long in movies like this?
right.
Like
They
it came
already
out that
killed off Martin Freeman
yeah, and doesn't Maria Hill also bite it as well?
at
Like
the end of the first episode.
yeah, it's like it's not that like Maria Hill was like a cameo character in this universe. Like she barely had any presence. I'm pretty sure she was just like, yeah, why am I here? Like
And that's a sad thing too, because I love her character in the series. But
yeah,
not
like
like
yeah, go read there's a book series called Secret Warriors that John Hickman wrote. It was his like Nick Fury is like disavowed from Shield and he's kind of like it was the story that they adapted for Agents of Shield
Oh,
when
that's cool.
Shield gets disbanded after Winter Soldier. That's just that story. That's all it is. And it's really really good.
Wow.
It's yeah, it's really amazing. I think it's all collected at this point in an omnibus, but it's what they should have done is just if Shield is this kind of off the beaten path, like it's just like 5 people now.
it's
Do
not
that. Make it the A-Team. Like stop
Yeah.
trying to do this stuff. Make something new. Like don't adapt this story because you've already been written into a corner with the ending of Captain Marvel, where it's like, oh no, they're good guys now. Like, well then why are they back now?
Yeah, yeah. The idea that like, and again, they're the narrative that they've been trying to spell. I was here for the like the Skrulls are good guys now in Captain Marvel. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
that's a cool twist. It gives this universe its own little thing. They can kind of do whatever, and then they come back in the series and go, so the Skrulls are here, and a bunch of them are good, but some of them are bad. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Well, they're doing
Uh,
like they're leaning towards the whole like young rebel thing because that's what it is. All these like why haven't we found because in the comics they were going off prophecy, whereas this they're just like angsty teens wanting their own home.
yeah.
And that's the big difference. Like literally it's this whole thing like prophecy, their planet was destroyed. It wasn't just taken over, but it was destroyed. They're going off prophecy. That's why they went to Earth. There's this whole succession. Whereas literally it's just, oh, I'm gonna get out of my mom's basement and get my own house. Meh.
I mean,
And
That's literally what it is.
I'm fine with a distant adaptation, but do it with a purpose.
mm,
Like Guardians of the Galaxy, those are not adapting anything from the comics. Like who
No,
cares?
but I love them.
I know
Love
that's the thing.
it.
Like who cares? Like that's the thing. If you can make a thing that is so good that you forget that it's an adaptation, perfect. Done.
Right.
You done it right. But
Right.
this is leaning on. Have you read Secret Invasion? This is kind of like that, isn't it? Because of what you guys are describing, this is not enticing me to ever want to watch the show.
I'm going to let it finish, and then I'm going to see what the
Yeah.
reaction is to it before I dive back in, unless it's like turns into this thing that we're hoping, because it could be. Dude, if we get to stop in to the places around the MCU, swinging through New Asgard, and there's a Skrull there, swinging through, the Guardians Outpost, and there's a Skrull there, like
Yeah.
expand
Like in
our
nowhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, like expand our world out and really show the reach of the Skrulls to this point. Damn, you might get me back in, but then you have to pay that off in like 3 or 4 episodes. At that point, make the fucking movie. Like, don't make a
Yeah.
show, make the movie.
We have brought this up before that a lot of these shows they really could have been films. Because the reason they make them into TV shows because they have mandated from the people at the top they have to be shows, so they pad out everything
Yep.
so that way you keep your Disney Plus subscription. It's a business model. It's
Yep.
it's not done from a creative standpoint. It's done from a financial standpoint. It's just there because hey, we don't want you to leave, and that's why they keep running over the production and release schedules of these shows. So the moment one show ends, another one picks up, and then you keep your Disney Plus subscription. It's making movies and TV shows so magical. Just
So magic.
sorry to sound cynical, but
But that's with any subscription thing, though. The difference being is that whereas
I know, but
most
it's so obvious.
Am I finished? With a lot of subscriptions and things like that, they have multiple different shows and TVs and movies that they go off of. The one thing with Disney is they're relying too heavily on thing, and that's where it's getting the fatigue. It's they're relying on you to just only want to come back for Marvel and Star Wars. Whereas like
Yeah.
me with Hulu, they're like, oh, well, there's original content, there's this, there's that, there's da 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 da. Or like HBO. Yeah, we have our own shows, but they're all way different and they're coming out at different times and so like whereas there's still things coming out, it's not always the same, so I'm not getting that fatigue. Like Righteous Gemstones is out right now, and
Yeah.
I love that. And then like I'm in love with the White Lotus, so and that was earlier this year. Like I'm gonna keep those around because of these shows, but it's not the same shit.
Well, and
Yeah,
also,
it feels different.
yeah, those shows are also attempting to give you something new. Like they are
Mhm.
very new IPs, and a big issue strapping down these like Disney shows is they lean on the fact that you've been watching them already, so they need to feel comfortable. They need to feel like stuff that because we're the analytical audience. They're not making this for us. They're making it for the general audience, and so they want the general audience to step into like, oh, this feels like Marvel, so now I'm comfortable and this feels good. And we're coming at this from like, well, if the intro art is soulless and dead, and the source material is lively, but the resulting TV show is a little soulless and dead. And we're just kind of pointing out that maybe a few of these projects are a little puppeteered instead of being like these Righteous Gemstones type TV show that's going out of its way to show you something you've never seen before. They just want to know if they can. They want to know if they can pull off a scene where like a bunch of guys roll up to beat the shit out of a pastor. You know what I mean? Like, they want to see if they can. You'll never see that. No one ever wants to push those kind of buttons in the MCU. And so they have to play super safe. And so I think we're just trying to figure out, like, where can they play to their strengths, which I hope what you were saying at the beginning almost broke my heart, because I feel the same way. I miss getting excited to go to those midnight releases knowing that it's going to be a banger of stuff I've never seen before.
I know. Like, so back then I worked at Jungle Mills Best Buy, and like, we would all get off work, like a group of us from Best Buy, run over to the theater on the opposite side of the mall. We'd all like hire flasks and shit, and like we were just like, it was like such an event. It wasn't even just like it wasn't even just like, oh, I went to the mall. Like, it was an event. You got your friends. It was a
you
thing.
Stayed out till 3:00 in the morning and went to a Denny's to discuss the film afterwards.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, like that was just the thing, and I miss those days. And the thing is, it wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. It wasn't even that long ago.
Right.
I highly doubt anybody's going to be doing that for the new Indiana Jones movie, considering the reviews that have been coming.
Oh, Christ. I'm be shocked if they're showing that movie after 9 p.m.
Oh, God.
Why you gotta break my heart like that? What
Listen,
happened
I
to
love
my
Indiana
Harrison?
Jones as
Do
much
it,
as the next
Mangold
guy.
did.
Oh, I have one other. I don't know if this is an issue with the show itself, or maybe a larger issue that I'm just taking issue with Marvel. I don't like the way that they are leaning on the idea of groups of revolutionary young people as their villains. They've done it twice now. Falcon and Winter Soldier, and here in Secret Invasion, the whole story is about the kids of the Skrulls from Captain Marvel.
They did that in Picard season 3 as well.
There's something about revolutionary young people that our television is trying to tell us they're bad guys, and that's propaganda, kids. I'm telling you straight out the gate, that is propaganda.
Yeah. It's, it's rich old white people are in charge. What do you expect?
It's and like, I get it.
It's a metaphor.
We can't get to Young Avengers soon enough. That's what I'm saying. When we have a group of young people that are going like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but we need to do this without killing people. I'll be on board with it. But until we get there, it just feels like they're shitting on Gen Z because they can. And it's like, dog, that's your audience, and they're going to leave you quick because they are real choosy about what movies they're into. They will worship a movie that's genuine, and they will flush a turd at this point. Like, I've never seen a generation write off bad movies as quickly as Gen Z does. They're just like, I don't even need to know about it.
Yeah, and older people.
It's a double-edged sword with Gen Z, I feel, because like the three of us are millennials.
Yeah.
My bro, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, so like it's that fine line, and I'm like, okay, I support you here, but let's take it down a little bit, guys. Like, I got you. I'm gonna back you. Just bring in just a smidge. Just a smidge, guys. Like, come on.
We don't have to cancel Scarface. We know he's the villain, you know?
Yeah, like, it's like, all right, we get it. Just calm down just a little bit. Again, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna nurture you. I'm gonna love you. Bro, you can't go swinging on literally everything. And that's the thing. I'm getting tired, man. I don't even have... Honestly, I'm going to make this metaphor. At work, I'm in my 30s. I'm not even, like, old. And everyone at my job calls me mom. I'm like, bro, I'm getting tired Come on. Like, please help me.
I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago. There's a meme that came out. I can't remember what it was in relation to, but the meme was just stop being offended by literally everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just stop, okay? It's making you guys look worse.
Stop putting your
it's like,
energy into stuff you don't like.
just
the
say
thing,
I didn't like that and move on with your day.
That's the
You
thing.
know?
It's I wish I had their energy to hate this shit.
Right.
Remember,
Like, yes,
remember when
we're all passionate about stuff. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. But bro, I wish I could bottle that energy. I could use some.
Right.
Yeah, like it's like we obviously on our show Film Rescue, we hate on the movies that we watch because that's the point. Like because we don't hate the people involved most of the time. We just typically just be like, hey, this is dog shit. Let's point out the reasons why. We have a reason to have a problem with it. Remember when we did
we
the
also fixed it. We also built it up.
we fixed it too.
Film Rescue's about like why narrative doesn't work. It's pointing out the missteps and then trying to fill in the pothole.
Yeah, remember when we did the first season of Split the Difference? We did the 0 Hour versus Airplane episode, and I pointed out those two women that were pissed off that Airplane is so offensive now to modern culture.
Yeah.
It was like two 15-year-old girls, and I'm just like, can you just shut the fuck up
You don't
for
even
5
have your
minutes?
driver's licenses yet.
You don't get to complain about that.
They're practicing having opinions. You know what I mean? Like we all did that at 15. We all practiced our opinions.
The difference is we didn't have the internet like they do.
No, dude, we were so protected from that. Holy shit.
Yeah, one of their complaints was the sequence where the woman's freaking out on the airplane and all the people line up to beat the shit out of her in the chair, and they're like, "This isn't funny. This is abuse." And I'm like, "Did you not see the joke?"
You know, I would do the same thing in an airplane with a baby. I would do the same bit with a baby. Like that's how you feel when you're in an airplane with a baby. Sometimes that's the joke.
The point is that.
Mike Ciklasa says, that's the joke.
the whole thing about this whole like young rebels being the enemy, it needs to come to a head. Like there needs to be this common ground, and I think what they're trying to do with these young Avengers, like you have Miss Marvel, you have, Hawkeye's sidekick, you have Kate Bishop, you know the Spider-Man. He's the bridge gapper because he's like the kid of the Avengers, but he's going to be part of the you have
I think they're gonna put Miles Morales in there. They're gonna make him live action. I really do.
Yeah. But the point is that I think once we get these, because we don't really have a Gen Z hero.
Miss Marvel.
Like we're starting to get it. Like I said, we're starting to get it through like Miss Marvel and everything, which is great. Starting to, but we don't have that true hero yet.
Right.
So I feel like once we get that, things will start to balance out. But we can't do that if we're doing things like Skrulls and Nick Fury and. Like Nick Fury is literally, there's a conversation in the first episode where he's like, "Oh, what did you get for your midlife crisis?" And Nick Fury said, "My midlife crisis was the Avengers." He said, "My midlife crisis birthday gift to myself was the Avengers," and it's like,
line was so funny.
And in that instance, you're already dating it 10, 20 years from that midlife crisis.
Right.
He is literally the epitome of old in this, like in more ways than one. We have to end this,
Yeah.
Even in the Secret Invasion comics, he wasn't old. Like he was older, but he wasn't old.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's a big gap too. So I think there's a lot of flaws. Maybe they'll save it. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe we can all get over this AI bullshit.
Oh God, I would not be surprised if they changed it. I think the backlash has been so harsh that they're going to bring in artists and be like, yeah, fix it. Just throw out this shitty AI thing.
No, they're sticking to their guns, dude. It's
Oh,
only
God
six
damn
episodes.
it.
It's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
They're
And they
not
want you
going
to
to waste
forget
good
anyways. Like
energy.
they're not promoting this super hard. They want you to kind of sweep this one under the rug and get ready for the summer lineup.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We've all said our piece.
I've got a little chaser for us if we want to run away from Secret Invasion.
Sure.
More superhero news. Who's stoked for Craven? I have
This is so stupid.
I have so many questions.
Lion's blood? That's what you're leaning on?
I have so many questions. First of all, how is AI so good that they could recut the Morbius trailer with Aaron Taylor Johnson and a lion? Like, it's exactly the same trailer as the Morbius trailer. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same movie?
Like I said earlier on, these movies feel like they're made by an AI, so of course they're going to just do that.
I want to leave now.
Did you guys see?
God.
Did you guys see? Someone pointed out that Russell Crowe has played a lot of superhero dads, and then he quote tweeted and he said, "Fertile in multiple universes."
Oh, he played fucking, what was it, Zeus?
Zeus, Superman's dad, and Kraven's dad now.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, he literally played, do you not know Zeus? Zeus is a whore. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, well, that's why they got
Yeah.
Russell Crowe. It's funny.
God.
Yeah. So Craven, what the fuck? Like, it won't be
What?
good, right?
God, no. But here's the only thing. It's R-rated. That's the draw. Because everyone was like, why isn't Venom R-rated? And they
It
finally...
can't be worse than Morbius.
And that's
just-
100%. Not anything with Jared Leto is just worse. by
Yeah, there's nothing...
association.
Yeah. Is this supposed to tie into that Secret Six movie? Or that, not Secret Six, Sinister Six?
Yeah, that's...
Is that
Okay.
still happening?
I don't know.
Does Avi Arad have, like, dementia, and he just keeps, like, running back to the last time he had Spider-Man products coming out, and he goes, yeah, we're going back to that, right? And it's like, no, dude, nobody wants the Sinister Six from Amazing
Oh.
Spider-Man 2. Nobody's clamoring for that.
Oh, gosh.
Mm.
Anywho.
And the 1% of people who are, you might get what you're asking for, dog. Like, it might happen anyways.
Oh, God.
I think we've come to a head at this point.
Yeah.
I just...
As soon as you said Craven, I was about to just turn off my shit.
No, yeah.
Hey, was it El Muerto was supposed to start shooting? Madam Web is wrapped up. Sony, you're really desperate, aren't you?
Dude,
To build a universe from this bullshit.
what if the Madam Web trailer has her getting a drop of old woman blood into her bloodstream? I'm pretty sure they've trademarked that image at this point. Because, like, they've been doing that one for a hot minute. The blood into somebody's bloodstream CGI shot.
Oh, what,
On
can they
that
not
note,
go?
I'm about to put some air into my bloodstream so I can die from this shit.
Yeah. Is there anything good coming out this summer?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Is there anything
I don't-
superhero movie-wise that we're looking forward to this summer? Like, genuinely?
Nope. We got everything.
Superhero-wise?
Oh, didn't Oppenheimer move its release date? Didn't
Because
that
of
move?
Barbie?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Barbie's my
fucking
new
blinked. They blinked.
That's my take. Is my new superhero movie for the summer is Barbie.
Listen.
I
you
can get why they moved because they want it to be an Oscar season thing. I get it. But at the same time, it's like just the fact that they just were like, yeah, we're not going to compete with Barbie.
don't play chicken with Greta Gerwig, man. She will come for your fucking throat. She'll drop that 2001 A Space Odyssey trailer and say, bitch, we're both getting Oscars.
I want to know what Christopher Nolan thought about that trailer, being like, this is my competition? And then everyone's just like, Barbie, Barbie, Barbie. He's like, fucking kids.
But don't you remember that human atrocity that Americans committed on the Japanese? I want to talk about that. And we're like, I think we want to talk about Barbie. We've had enough atrocities, man.
I've
God, I
been
just
boasting for Barbie for so long now.
yeah.
I'm my ass is gonna be in that seat like first day.
Am I the only one that really just doesn't give a shit about Oppenheimer? Am I the only like? I feel like I'm the only person that doesn't care.
I like I am more interested in his production than the actual movie. If you look at certain theatrical releases he's doing, they had to get special theaters for his film, like literal film version, and it's like 2 tons of film or some shit. Like
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. That giant. Was it like a? Didn't it like weigh like a ton or something like
It's
that?
like
that's what
600 pounds, I think.
Jesus
yeah, it's like
Christ, dude.
yeah, so it's crazy. So I'm
Yeah.
that's more interesting to me than the movie.
And
So
guess what? All of it's going to be condensed on a little Blu-ray that you're going to be able to watch in your home.
just
All that
that's why it's
effort.
so interesting to me.
I can't wait to stream that on the back of an airplane TV or seat TV.
Yes.
That's exactly where
No,
I'm going to be
no,
watching
even better
Oppenheimer.
on my phone on a bus.
Yeah, just the way Chris Nolan
Ooh,
intended.
I'm going to watch it on my iPad in 4:3. Hell yeah, baby.
Ugh.
uh,
I'm gonna do it in my little girl Barbie pink Jeep down the driveway.
There you go. There you go.
uh,
That's
okay.
I'm all joked out. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
All right.
let's wrap this one up.
Yeah. Oh
Um
God.
yeah, so yeah, we've said our piece about Secret Invasion, we've said our piece about AI. Shout out to all the comic fans who have read this. I'd love to know your opinions on this. Um yeah, what like reach out to us. Honestly, just let us know what you think. You can go to our Patreon. You can come out to our social medias. You can come out to our TikTok, Jaguar Sharks Network TikTok. You can come out to Jaguar Sharks on our Instagram, Twitter. Let us know. These are the types of episodes I like because they start a conversation, and I want you guys out there to give us your part of the conversation. Let us know, dude. If you think we're dumb, put us in our place. Like this is just three people's opinions. You know, reach out to us, let us know. We'll have all of our contact info down below and where else you can find us. Yeah, just reach out to us. I know I personally love to start the conversation and love to continue it. So,
What's a
yeah.
good way to use AI in filmmaking? That's a great little conversation starter question.
There you go.
Uh,
Not for
yeah.
you, Jesse.
We don't have
Okay.
to answer. It's rhetorical for the
Oh,
audience.
okay. I was gonna say make them the enemy, but we already have like 20 movies that do that. So.
Oh yeah.
Look, it's for the audience to answer, Jesse, not you. Just because your birthday's coming up don't mean you're the center of attention right now.
I think that's it.
We still love you. Love you guys. Love our audience. And I think we're going to wrap up. So, good night.
See you next time.
Good night.